Nation FM,
where good music lives.
Cabling tips. Use cables from a reputable manufacturer made from 99.99% pure copper and the best insulation. Use a certified installer. Scratch to verify and authenticate your cables. We manufacture an extensive range of power cables for applications in domestic and industrial wiring. Our work speaks for itself. Get in touch. Let's talk cables. Kumbuka Wire C Wire. East African Cables. Connecting lives.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Welcome to Good Life, where we are all about you. And when we say you, we mean all of you, including the little ones. We're all about ensuring you feel better and healthier, so you enjoy every moment with the ones closest to you. A smile on your face is what we're about. That's why you'll always be welcome back to Good Life pharmacies across Kenya with the same smile on every visit. Good Life. We're all about you.
This is NTV.
Well, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us. You're watching NTV at 1. My name is Zeynab Ismail. Now, Deputy President William Ruto is expected to address the nation after deliberations today morning with politicians allied to his Hustler movement. The Deputy President will speak on BBI and the way forward. NTV Senior Political Affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi is at the Deputy President's official residence in Karen and is now joining us live with an update. Good afternoon, Mureithi. Good to see you. Just give us an idea of exactly what are some of the issues you've probably heard the Deputy President speak with his allies and some of the leaders there, and what time is he expected to address the nation?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Zeynab, there in Nairobi studios. And as it pertains to what you've asked me, is that today is quite different. We've been kept very far away from where the discussions are going on, so we could not even eavesdrop. And also another factor that we've noted is that some of the people who even give us information when they are in these meetings are not even answering to their calls. So it is quite difficult to know what the plan is for today and what are some of the points that are coming up for discussion. But right now we've been brought closer to one of the gates that we will be using to get in so that we can go to the point where they will be having a press conference. We do understand that probably this press conference is going to be at around 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon, where we do understand what some of them told us before they went into this meeting is that they will be deliberating on some of the issues that have been emerging, including the Building Bridges initiative and the way forward for their particular movement, that is the Hustler movement. Remember, Deputy Deputy President William Ruto has been on a charm offensive of different parts of the country, and in these parts of the country he's been going to, he's been speaking about the hustler movement and where the person who is at the low level of the society is uplifted to sit at the table to make decisions. There are other places where we've been able also to go, like about a fortnight ago, where Deputy President William Ruto was at a meeting in Rumiridho in Waithaka, Dagoretti South constituency, and here he categorically asked the people whether they wanted development or matters BBI. So there's a probability that in this meeting they'll be giving us the way forward with regards to what they want on the BBI movement, or whether they are going to support it now that it is at the county assemblies. But going by what they have been saying in meetings, that is Deputy President William Ruto and his allies who are members of parliament from different parts of the country, they have been very opposed to the Building Bridges initiative. Remember, towards the end of last year, we were here for another meeting where we expected that the Deputy President, together with about 150 members of parliament who had come to this particular meeting, will give the way forward on the Building Bridges initiative. But when they came out, there was a statement where the Deputy President said that they would want a referendum that has multiple choices. That is not coming to fruition right now. But then also they wanted the whole discussion on the Building Bridges initiative then halted because of the prevalence of coronavirus that was at the country at that time. But yet it has also not started. Right now, there is a rush to have 23 more counties pass the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020, with Siaya having passed it already. So we do expect that right now the Deputy President will be giving a way forward probably on counties that he enjoys support on the way forward with the Building Bridges Initiative Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020. Also, Deputy President William Ruto, we do expect that he will be giving his future on politics. Remember, the relationship between him and President Uhuru Kenyatta is completely fractured at this time, going by what was happening in Sagana and the sentiments that were coming from Sagana, where President Uhuru Kenyatta met leaders from the Mount Kenya region in an effort to bring them to support the Building Bridges initiative. So we are going to be seeing that conversation, and if they do not speak on that, probably we'll be given an opportunity to ask questions, and we'll be giving you an up-to-date information on what will be happening in this meeting. We do expect to hear what they will be having for us, but then again, we'll be giving you also, after having spoken to some of the people who are there, on those details that will not have been told at the press conference. But stick to NTV, we'll be airing that statement by the Deputy President live so that everybody is able to know what is going on. But right now, we continue to stake out as we wait for what next from the Deputy President's current residence. Back to you, Zeynab.
All right, thank you so much. Political affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi, just outside the official residence of the Deputy President William Ruto here in Karen in Nairobi. We'll be getting more details on that press conference expected this afternoon. Now, Opposition Chief Raila Odinga has dismissed talks that he is being fattened for slaughter by his handshake partner President Uhuru Kenyatta, terming such claims as cheap talk being peddled by those out to cause disunity in the country. The ODM leader was addressing elected leaders from Luo Nyanza region as well as other stakeholders during a meeting called to discuss and chart the way forward for the Building Bridges initiative and solidify the party's grassroots support ahead of the 2022 elections. Oko Kusa is attending the event and is now joining us live from Kisumu. Oko, what else have they addressed in the meeting?
Well, Zeynab, a lot of issues have so far come up, but more specifically touching on the Building Bridges initiative. Speakers who have spoken so far, who includes the ODM leader himself, Raila Odinga, trying to just sensitize the delegates here. We are talking about 800 delegates attending this particular consultative meeting here in Kisumu this morning. And of course, even as you can hear in the background, the function is still underway. That is the chairman of ODM, John Mbadi, trying to introduce some of the leaders in attendance. We are yet to get into that final or the climax of this event where the elected leaders will be addressing the delegates attending this particular meeting here this afternoon. Of course, you've mentioned there Raila dismissing those, saying that his handshake partner Uhuru Kenyatta is sort of not genuine in their partnership, that actually he was more of referring to sentiments that were expressed, remember, 1 week ago by a member of parliament allied to the DP, that is Silvanus Osoro, during a chaotic burial in Kisii, where Osoro actually told the Prime Minister right on his face that he should be careful, that the President Uhuru Kenyatta could be, planning to use him and dump him, just like he did to his deputy William Ruto. But of course, there have also been those concerns among supporters of the ODM leader Raila Odinga, some expressing fears that maybe a similar fate would face their leader. And of course, now Raila coming out here today to dismiss those fears, saying that his unity or his friendship or partnership with the President Uhuru Kenyatta was formed on the foundation of unifying Kenyans and annihilating stuff to do with competitive politics, stuff to do with winner takes it all elections. And therefore, their partnership is to actually bring Kenyans together and, of course, forge ahead to bring more development to the grassroots. So we are yet to of course, hear the resolutions of this particular meeting. That will come at the tail end of it, according to the organizers. So we are actually on more of like plenary happening right now, and then later on they'll come up with the resolutions of what they have come up with. Remember, a lot of members of county assemblies from across Nyanza. This meeting is being attended by ODM delegates from 4 counties, that is Kisumu, Siaya, Migori, and Homa Bay, and all of them are gathered here, members of the county assemblies who are expected to pass or approve the BBI bill as from tomorrow. Back to you, Zeynab.
All right, thank you, Okukusa. They're live in Kisumu. Well, away from that, the Marsabit County Government Administration has distanced itself from a suspected arms racket following the impounding of a county government vehicle in Turbi 2 days ago. The vehicle, attached to the Department of Water, Marsabit distanced itself with gun peddling, the whole issue of the resources around there. And of course, this is also to do with the transportation of AK-47 rifles and 10 rounds of ammunition to an unspecified location. Let's just listen into that report by Eunice Omolo.
As the security teams are going on with investigations over suspected weapon racketeering in Marsabit County, the county administration has disassociated itself with illegal arms dealing after a county vehicle was impounded carrying a gun and ammunition. In a press statement issued on Sunday evening by the Deputy Governor Solomon Gubo Riwe and the County Executive Committee member in charge of Water, Environment and Natural Resources, Adan Kaneno, the vehicle that was carrying a driver and a water technician who were on official field mission from Friday 5th to Monday 8th on repairing boreholes around the county.
It's very sad that in the routine of their work, as they had gone to do their work, this thing has happened to them. Unfortunately, nobody has contacted us about them. We've not been able to get in touch with them. Their phones, I believe, have been impounded because we are not able to get them. And we really have no idea where they are.
The recovery was made by local agents led by the Border Patrol Unit, which had flagged down a number of vehicles. The vehicle that was found with the rifle had a county government registration number, and 4 suspects were arrested. According to Riwe, the reason for impounding of the vehicles and arrest of the driver and the technician was yet to be communicated to the county government administration.
We must say no to all attempts sow disunity, inspire and sustain violence in Marsabit. Marsabit County government reiterates its commitment to peace, inter-ethnic harmony and cohesion.
The county government has called upon the Office of Director of Criminal Investigations to look into the matter and bring it to a conclusion. Eunice Omolo, NTV.
Meanwhile, the Kenya Defence Forces has warned Kenyans against falling prey to fraudsters who rip them off their money with the promise of getting them slots into the KDF. According to the Vice Chief of Defence Forces, Lieutenant General Levi Mugalu, 106 individuals who included civilians and servicemen were arrested and taken through the legal process in 2019 and were found guilty of fraud and corruption. After a year's hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the military is expected to recruit 4,400 Kenyans to serve in different disciplines within the Defence Forces. Unlike the National Police Service recruitment drive, which will only be undertaken in a day, the KDF will conduct theirs between the 8th and 19th of February 2021 in an exercise that will be monitored by the EACC, the National Intelligence Service and Transparency International to ensure transparency and objectivity. This year's exercise will attract candidates who will serve under 6 categories, which include the General Service Officer Cadets, the General Service Officer Cadets undergraduate degree holders, Specialist Officer Cadets, the General Duty Recruits, Tradesmen and Defence Forces Constables, which attracts mostly retired KDF officers or those from other disciplined forces.
Any person purporting to have influence to recruit any potential candidate or issue a KDF calling letter outside the designated recruitment centers will be a conman or conwoman. Further, Kenyans are advised that bribery and other acts of corruption are against the law. Should anyone give a bribe with the aim of securing a place during this recruitment exercise, they will have themselves to blame. Our wish is to conduct an open, free, and fair recruitment exercise.
Now, Kenyans continue to speak out against the rising cases of political intolerance as some politicians make remarks with undertones of hate. In Kajiado, the political class as well as the business community are calling on Kenyans to shun and reject politicians who incite them to violence and also appeal to politicians to shun politics of hate. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission has been urged to move with speed and arrest such politicians.
Let us fight through the brains, through discussion. Bring out your discussion. Don't go physical. To go physical, it means you are more of an animal than a human being. Actually, the difference between us and animals is that us, we can argue our case. Argue our case, we hear you, then we move forward. If you win, you win. If you lose, and you accept, and we move on.
We are bound to see things getting very hot. And if things take the direction that those two leaders, the unfortunate event that led to them fighting, things are going to be very bad for the country.
Our country and our constitution is very clear that there is no place for a particular person, a particular leader. There is nowhere you are told at least maybe Kamau cannot go to Turkana, or maybe cannot go to Garissa, or cannot even contest in Wajir. And a very special case I can give you is Kajiado, the way we live here. We live as a special county where we respect all tribes who are here.
There is no need to fight. BBI will come and go. 2022 will come and go. We are a state that have been voting, doing elections for the last 50 years. And we don't have any other country to live in.
All right, on that note, let's take a quick break on NTV at 1. We still have much more lined up for you. Stay with us.
Cabling tips. Use cables from a reputable manufacturer made from 99.99% pure copper and the best insulation. Use a certified installer. Scratch to verify and authenticate your cables. We manufacture an extensive range of power cables for applications in domestic and industrial wiring. Our work speaks for itself. Get in touch. Let's talk cables. Kumbuka, Wire C Wire. East African Cables. Connecting lives.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Heaviness and a burning inside, it could be heartburn.
Indigestion and heartburn? Eno gets to work in 6 seconds and works on the 6 symptoms of heartburn so you can keep living life non-stop. Eno, fight heartburn and indigestion fast.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Maji mdosi wangu ametupa simu yangu ndani ya maji.
Mdosi wako kwa sawa. Venye Nkirota ameniambia ajui na akimpigia simu ashiki. Hi, guy, what the?
For the women who deserve more, Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries. With its nylon-free surface, new Moped has unique softness and up to 100% protection. Your skin will love it.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, education experts are warning against a worrying trend where parents are increasingly spending less time with their children. This lack of quality time has been linked to the ongoing unrest in schools, as some stakeholders feel students are lashing out to seek attention. Parents have been accused of abdicating their parenting role and pushing it to teachers, thereby ending up disconnected from their children's lives. And as the Ministry of Education seeks to find permanent ways of ending the unrest, it has been urged to engage the parents in dialogue before introducing drastic measures such as corporal punishment.
This is how I clap with my children, you as their teacher. Not necessarily your name, but what you did.
I'm sure if schools embrace a lot of intelligence, as Joachim has said, we'll be able to manage these schools. And this is where we are. And the teachers training colleges, going back to whatever they want to revisit in training, will be able to have teachers who will be able to manage. But we cannot let teachers to manage children without parents taking responsibility. Unakuta mzazi kutoka saa ile atafika kwa nyumba, ako kwa WhatsApp, ako kwa Facebook, ako kwa nini, hata mtoto akiongea na yeye anaendelea kuscroll. We cannot manage our children with WhatsApp and Facebook. We can only manage them by listening to them, being tolerant to them, by being patient to them, and we'll be able to minimize some of the things that are happening today.
Now, the Muslim community in the country is calling on the political class in the country to embrace peace and tolerance, even as the campaign mood kicks in. Speaking in Lamu, when a delegation from Egypt under the patronage of the Al-Azhar community, which is on a peace mission in the country, the leaders said it was shameful that there were cases of political intolerance that were cropping up this early. The Al-Azhar mission is known worldwide for promoting peace, and the intention of being in the country is to partner with Muslim leaders preaching peace, as they also call for a cohesive partnership between the Christian and Muslim communities.
Mwito wetu sisi kama viongozi wa dini ni kwamba watu wadumishe amani, tupendane na tuishi bila ya watu kuzozana na kufarikiana. Na japo watu dini ni mbalimbali, lakini watu waishi pamoja na waishi kupendana na waishi kuelewana bila ya kuwa na yani mgorogoro wote na uzita zozote. Lengo ni kwamba watu washikane na watu wapendane na kuhuisha umoja.
With the help of financial sector deepening Africa, the Capital Markets Authority has brought on board a consultant to review its 10-year master plan, which runs up to 2023. The move to onboard the consultant has been occasioned by, among other things, the challenges brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. The CMA has so far executed 54% of its master plan over the last 6 years. Among the key achievements by the regulator include new products such as the derivatives markets, online forex trading and asset-backed securities. Over 120 youth across the country have received an opportunity to enroll in the government internship program initiated by Uwezo Fund, which targets to empower youth and people living with disability. Speaking during the training session in Nairobi, the CEO of Uwezo Fund, Peter Lengapiani, said the training will enable youth to interact with various government officials and gain skills and ready-to-access market. He said every individual will get opportunity and be deployed at county levels across the country.
This is a program that will help interns to understand work and prepare them to have some experience and ready for the job market. As a government initiated this program, this was an opportunity to give our young people a chance to learn how government operates, a chance on how to have work-on experience, and also to interact and to network with various government officials and players in the public sector.
Well, the Nation Media Group has launched a paywall for the Nation.Africa product just days after the brand was nominated for the IF Design Award through its campaign video. Within 5 months of its inception, Nation.Africa has managed to record over 200,000 subscribers, a major milestone in the company's journey towards digital transformation. As the company is focused on shifting its business model from solely relying on advertising to a reader revenue model, the group CEO Stephen Gitagama has assured the consumers that the content will be in-depth, with the company upholding its journalistic values. Nation Audio is also set to provide the best in experimental and creative audio experiences. A huge chunk of the content on the site will still be free.
But it has been configured in a friendly way to ensure everyone can still get and share the stories that are critical to their lives, including those that allow them to participate meaningfully in the civic space. The paywall will allow readers to access premium content that is of use to them, content that is truthful, content that they can rely on, and content that is well researched.
At the center of this transformation map is content. Content, and the core deliverable, the core player is the consumer or the customer. In the past, we used to say content is king, but I think now the consumer is king. So we do all this bearing in mind that we are trying to target the consumer.
The British Army Training Unit in Nanyuki has been closed indefinitely, and Kenyan staffers asked to work from home as troops who arrived from the UK tested positive for COVID-19. A number of them have been put in isolation to curb the spread of the virus. It is not clear the particular strain discovered among those that have tested positive. Meanwhile, in South Africa, researchers have discovered that the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine has failed to prevent mild and moderate cases of the South African coronavirus strain.
An unknown number of soldiers who travel back to Kenya from the UK have tested positive for COVID-19 and temporarily affected operations at the British Army Training Unit based in Nanyuki. In a statement sent out by the administration, an unspecified number of troops are in quarantine, while a few others are also in isolation. The Kenya staff working at Batuk are now working from home to further protect the local community. It is not, however, clear if the troops have tested positive for the new strain identified in the UK, which is responsible for a sharp increase in the number of new COVID-19 infections in the UK. Meanwhile, in South Africa, scientists have raised concerns over the low and decreased efficacy of the AstraZeneca vaccine on the new strain of coronavirus in the country. The University of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, which conducted the trial, said in a statement that the vaccine provides minimal protection from the variant, hence the need for further studies to analyze the vaccine efficacy.
This means that what we will take from Professor Shabir Madhi is that some more work needs to be done on this issue, because the results from other countries have been quite satisfactory, but there are issues in South Africa that we need to study a bit more.
But in a full paper due to be published on Monday, AstraZeneca said that none of the 2,000 participants developed serious symptoms. That could mean it will still have an effect on severe disease, although there's not yet enough data to make a definitive judgment. Researchers are currently working to update the vaccine and have a version with the South African spike sequence in the works. Vaccine developers in Britain said informally the results offered some hope that the vaccine could prevent deaths from the variant.
Some sporting action now, and Mwihoko sportive players received a major boost from gaming giant 555bet, who donated football merchandise to them during the Disagu Super Cup that was held at the Githurai grounds. The gaming company was conducting a corporate social responsibility program that sought to nurture grassroots talents in the country. The initiative that kicked off in Githurai is expected to grace various parts of the country, according to 555bet Chief Executive Officer Paolo Abenavole. Meanwhile, Mwihoko sportive players are now motivated to produce stellar performance so as to impress and further attract more sponsors to support them. 555bet are the sponsors of the 2008 Kenya Premier League champions Mathare United. And Thomas Tuchel's unbeaten start as Chelsea manager continued as his side beat bottom-place Sheffield United 2-1 at Bramall Lane to move up to 5th in the Premier League table. Chelsea went ahead in the 43rd minute when Mason Mount found the bottom corner following Timo Werner's cross from the left. Sheffield levelled through Antonio Rudiger's own goal in the 54th minute before Jorginho scored the winner from the spot in the 58th minute. This was Jorginho's 6th goal of the season. The victory, which came after Liverpool's 4-1 defeat by leaders Manchester City, put Chelsea's Champions League ambitions back on track. Sheffield United, who had won 3 of their previous 5 games, missed out on the chance to move above second bottom West Brom.
2-1, Chelsea lead. The penalty was the correct decision after the video review, and Jorginho makes no mistake. No late joy for Chris Wilder, and it is Thomas Tuchel's side that pick up the win. Full time here.
And in the Spanish La Liga, Lionel Messi scored 3 minutes after coming off the bench as Barcelona came from behind to beat Real Betis 3-2 at Benito Villamarin. Betis took the lead through Borja Iglesias in the 38th minute before Messi, who was rested by manager Ronald Koeman, equalized in the 59th minute. Victor Ruiz's own goal put Barcelona ahead in the 68th minute. Ruiz headed in an equalizer in the 75th minute, but Trinaku's curled strike sealed the win for the visitors 3 minutes from the stoppage time. The victory moved Barcelona up to second in the Spanish top flight, 7 points behind Atletico Madrid, who have 2 games in hand. Atletico play Celta Vigo tonight at Wanda Metropolitano. Third placed and defending champions Real Madrid will welcome Getafe on Tuesday.
First goal in La Liga for Trincao, and a comeback victory for Barca as it finishes Betis 2, Barca 3.
Well, that's all we had lined up for you this hour. Many thanks for keeping us company. More news later on in our 7 and 9 p.m. bulletins. Stay with us. Enjoy the rest of your viewing. My name is Zeynab Ismail. Good afternoon.
This is NTV.